far as Nebraska, they are playing. We knew they were going to play, or we felt like they were going to play very well when we played them early in the year, because you could tell that their young guys were gaining confidence, that Andrew White, the third, was going to be fantastic. Shields was playing well, and we knew that that win would be very valuable, as every win is, but we knew that win would be valuable playing them at that time of year, and they've gotten a lot better. There's no doubt about it. Ty Webster's doing a fantastic job of improvement in his junior year. He's one of the better defenders in our league right now, I think. Glenn Watson is playing with a lot of confidence. Jack McVay's playing with a lot of confidence. Jacobson's playing with confidence. And White is playing like one of the better guards in the country, let alone our league. I think he's averaging 21 points in the last 5 games. He's making over 3 threes a game. He's the 4th leading scorer, I think, in the league. And then we're preparing for Shields. You know, it's unfortunate when somebody gets hurt like that that's having the kind of year that he's having. But at the same time, you know, we're preparing for him like he'll be out there. And he creates a whole other level of issues because of his ability to play one-on-one, because of his ability to get to the basket. He's an improved shooter. And they're playing very, very fast. Their offense is strong and it's quick. And they're doing numerous things. They're getting great spacing and ball movement. And like I said, when you've got Andrew White out there with his capabilities, it makes the game easier for everybody else. And we've got to do a great job on him. As far as for us, we've spent probably as much time in the film room as we have the practice court. And the bottom line for us is to make sure that we're learning from our success and mistakes and see where we can make improvements. And this time of year, it's important that you get the mental part down as much as anything else. But also get your fundamentals. And so there's the game preparation part of this, but we feel like if the fundamentals continue to improve for us on both sides, you know, both ends of the court, then our game preparation will be better. And there were too many things in the Michigan State game that we wanted to do that we didn't do when it came to some basic things, you know, with our help defense and with our ball pressure, with taking away some key parts of their strengths, you know, especially personnel strengths. We played the plays, we didn't play the players as well. And we've got to make sure that we do a really good job of both. And at the same time, make sure we become even more efficient on the offensive end. So we're excited to play. It's a big week, as they all are. And we're down to 3 home games. And looking forward to having the same type of energy and excitement inside of Assembly Hall that we had last Thursday night, because it was incredible. And to be in the hunt the way that we are this time of year, I think everybody knows it. I don't think it's anything we spend a lot of time talking about, because I think they all know that. The key is, why are we in it, and what do we have to do to stay in it? And I think that's the most important thing you can get accomplished in the film room and on the court, and for them mentally as well as physically. So go ahead. That's it? Oh, okay. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Coaches say all the time, you don't know how to prepare when you don't know if a guy's going to play or not, but what are the challenges when you have to get ready for a team that might have a player like Shields, who I imagine is hard to replicate, but might not?
Well, I think the bottom line is he's a senior, so we're well aware of him. And we know his game, and we played against him the first time. So it's not like you're introducing a foreign object here. I mean, we did the same for Karis LeVert. We prepared like Karis LeVert was going to be in the game. And a mature team doesn't look at it either way. They prepare, and then there's no letdown if he's not there, because they're a very good team. And I mean, what they did to Penn State the other night in the second half without him was really impressive. And the way they played at Wisconsin was pretty impressive as well. So, and again, the number one thing you have to do with a team like Nebraska, obviously we've played them, but they went to Michigan State and won. So they're capable of going on the road. So the bottom line becomes, prepare like he's going to be there, know the personnel as well as we can possibly know them in a short period of time here, and understand what we want to try to take away. And their team has not changed a ton without him in there. I mean, they still put somebody else out there that can shoot the ball. And maybe it's not as much of the driving. Well, it's other guys driving the ball more. And he's been very creative. Tim has been very creative with his offense and finding different ways to get to the basket. So they're playing with great speed, whether he's in there or not. So we have to prepare for that as much as anything.
You mentioned the fact that you guys don't focus on being in the Big Ten race, but focus on things that got you there and can.
Sure.
What are the key things when you get to this final stretch
No, I think the same thing that put us there. Get the most out of every day. As boring as that sounds, that's the most important thing. Whether it's film, we cut a film session short a little while ago to go back out on the court to walk through a couple of things. You do what needs to be done at that present time in the moment, and it just helps set the urgency level for your team. So I think that's the most important thing. I don't think it's all about constant improvement, and it's about being honest when it's not as good as it needs to be. It's about being honest when it is, and it's really about being as forthright as you can be in what you have to do to improve upon it. And when the players are the ones that understand that as well as the coaches, then you have a situation like we have right now, where we're right in it. But the key is that we absolutely stay focused on the improvement, on shoring up what we're good at, on shoring up and getting better at what we're not so good at, and knowing the difference in the game.
Sort of in these dog days of February, but it seems like OG's a guy who's been really pushing off that freshman wall as far as he can. What sort of impressed you about just the way he's been able to hold up stamina-wise? Just it seems like he's also introducing different dimensions to his game.
Well, I think it's confidence. I think it's confidence. I think it's repetition. I think it's the fact that his teammates believe in him. I think he's getting more comfortable all the time. I mean, he thought he did a good job the other day, and he was battling some sickness. So last week he wasn't feeling that well, but he played through it, and it probably affected his stamina a little bit last week, but it didn't affect his play. So I think that's the key thing, is that he just he's in that group of freshmen that have come in here over the years that's in that gym a lot. I mean, I just walked down here now. We've been done for a while. All 4 freshmen are still in the practice gym right now as I'm walking down from my office. I mean, they're just in there. So that's what you want, is a group of guys that have that kind of hunger. And OG has that. So the key for him is to continue to push through the fatigue wall that comes in the game, not just in the season, but in the game. And I think our practices are extremely energetic. They're hard and demanding, but they're not taxing in the sense of wearing people down. And but they're building enough physical endurance and mental toughness that a young guy like that can keep fighting off that wall. But I think they're having fun too. And I think the fun part is when the fun part is winning to them, but the byproduct is how much better you get. That's why you win. So to me, that's what I think is a big energy driver for a guy like him and the other freshmen, as well as all the other guys.
You mentioned on the show last night that you guys aren't running the break quite as fast as you would want to. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think we're not as focused on getting it out of the net as fast, because we're focused on not letting it go through the net. And I think, as crazy as that sounds, that's really we're really running well off the miss, and off the turnover. But I think we can get better off the made basket. But we're so focused on getting better defensively that you don't want to constantly do that. But I mean, there's no question we can throw it ahead. I think it's a matter of decision making. So when I think our decision making is good, you want to throw it and let's go play. But sometimes, because of who we have in the game and what we can get from them, you want to get to that matchup right away. So maybe sometimes I slow it down, and I know I do sometimes. But I think it's just a matter of really the read and react. Throw it ahead. The key is for us is for Yogi to make really good decisions. Whether he throws it ahead and we get something, whether he keeps it and we get something, or whether he throws it ahead and then we find a way to get the ball reversed once or twice and it comes back. And our ball reversal numbers are really good. So I don't think we're going to get to a point where we're shooting it quick off the first side. Michigan State does a really good job of that. Iowa does a great job of getting to the basket and Peter Jock getting a shot. Michigan State does a great job of getting that jump shot. We're not exactly looking for that as much as we're looking to get the ball reversed and get the game going. So to me, our break may not score initially off the first or second pass, but if we can get the game into rotation, then we've done our job. And we have been doing that. We just haven't been scoring off the first or second pass and throwing it ahead quite as much. And probably because I haven't demanded it as much, or we haven't practiced that part of it as much.
Your
Go ahead.
Russians outscored last 2 opponents 52-12. Just what's allowed them to be so successful? With basically answering the call in the meeting.
Well, I think everything is different. I mean, we didn't look at Iowa's bench like they were bench guys. So when they came in the game, they got as much of of a response from our team as anybody else. I mean, Dom Ewell said it before, Bear, those guys would start for a lot of teams in our league, let alone a lot of teams in the country. So I think there's a respect level. I don't think our guys have a drop-off mentally when people come in the game, and that's where guys can steal points. And for us, I'd like to continue to think that the improvement is making them more sound. Now, we had some moments the other day where our bench didn't do a very good job defensively. But the bottom line is, I don't look at it like we just have 5 starters, and I haven't for a long time. I know we have 5 starters that come out. I know we announce a starting lineup. I know Chuck Crabb and the other team's public address announcers call that out. But as a coach, I don't put nearly as much stock in that as how we're going to finish the game. So I think when you've got numerous guys that can come in the game and contribute in the game, and if they're impacting winning like they have been, then that makes you that much better. And fortunately for us, there's been some points involved. But we've got to do a better job, top to bottom, defensively, on everybody, especially judging on the way we played the other day.
Comments have called, he said Colin has grown a lot as a player, that his words are he's become a really tough cover. And it does feel like he's driving the ball more maybe this year than he was last. Is that an improvement to his game? Is that you've talked about he's also just got some of the explosiveness and athleticism back that he couldn't get from the injury last year? Is it a little bit of both?
I think it's both, but I think it's his matchups. He's playing. He's rarely played where he's been guarded by a 5 this year. Where last year he was guarded by a 5, so he might shoot more, but he also drove the ball. But maybe somebody wasn't coming out to guard him as tight last year. And I think he got more open threes last year because of that. But this year, we're almost at the point where every one of them can drive to keep the offense going. Especially out of the corner and the wing. And that's something that we've got to continue to get better at, that random yet organized ball movement. And Colin's the best at it. There's no doubt about it. He's the best at continuing to keep the ball moving off the drive, off the long closeout, off the rotation, off the reversal. We run a misdirection type of action, and then he gets it thrown back to him and keeps it going. But we want him to be even more aggressive. And there's no question every week. He's adding to his game, but there's no question every week we're reminding him that it's okay to score, and that it's okay to look for a shot a little bit more. He was the second leading 3-point shooter in the league last year, and he makes timely shots. We need him to probably be even a little bit more aggressive. We need Nick to be more aggressive offensively, and Max is definitely enough to tell him twice to be aggressive offensively. He's got that message loud and clear, but. OG can be even more. He was very aggressive offensively the other day. When the ball is really moving, and it's moving from not only side to side, but corner to corner, and you have the shooters that we have the ability to put on the floor, the more aggressive you are in that first dribble, the better it is. And really that's something that we'd even need to get more from Troy, is get Troy in situations. The other day, they did a really good job of knowing where Troy was at all times, all right? And we've got to do an even better job for him of moving him and keeping him in movement and reminding him how good he can be when he attacks that rim, and keep getting him in that type of space, where he can do that. So, I know you asked about Colin, but there's really not much difference in all of them when it comes to keeping the ball moving. And certainly when we look at the way Thomas is passing the ball out of the post, it's really, really impressive in practice, the way he's passing the ball out of the post. We run post double drills every day, literally, 5 to 7 minutes a day, not to mention what we do when we're scrimmaging. So I think that'll even be even a more enhanced part of our game in the month of February and March, which will help the drive and kick game and help the 3-point shooting game even that much more.
Okay, Coach.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
All right. You guys obviously played Nebraska when they had Shields. Now they haven't had him for a couple games. As you start to watch them again, just what's different about? I know White had like 35 points the other night. What's different about them when he's not around for them?
I think overall, guys have decided, to step up. A couple of our guards are playing with a lot more confidence offensively. So, as he's been out, all the other players have, just decided to pick him up, and that level of confidence has just really went up.
Robert Cope said last night on his radio show, one of the reasons that you continue to improve is it's just straight work ethic. It's just kind of unrelenting, just constantly working at it. What are some of the things that you feel you're working at that are leading to the
Just overall things day to day. Whatever I did well or didn't do well the game before or the practice before, I'll make sure that I get in the gym with one of the guys and try to work on it, just so I don't continue to make the same mistakes, regardless of what it is.
How much time would you say you try on a given week to put in on your own?
Pretty much, I try to get in there days when I can, regardless of my class schedule. I try to get in there before practice, and I always shoot after practice. So anytime I can, really.
Nick, what about you? When do you usually like to get extra work in?
Well, with all my classes and my grad school being online, I have a different schedule than Rob. I shoot with Coach Buck in the mornings sometimes, usually the day before a game, and then the day of the game as well, before shoot around. And then sometimes Yogi and I are coming in and shooting on the gun late at night, depending on what day of the week it is and when the games are that week. And then, heck, all of us are doing film work, and that's, not physical work, but that's just as important for us as well as extra film, seeing what other teams like to do, like to take away, and where they can be exploited.
When you look at extra work, is there a balance, especially at this time of year, between, I guess, not doing too much to, I guess, wear you out? Where do you find the balance between putting in that extra work and not overdoing it at this time of year?
I mean, yeah, there's always a fine line about where, when you put it in and when you got to, kind of ease off a little bit. And it kind of depends on the player and the person and the time of the season as well and the schedule.
Rob, kind of along those same lines, there's a lot of talk about like a freshman wall that freshmen hit late in the year. How much more comfortable do you feel now in that second season compared to where you were this time a year ago?
Yeah, well, I'm a lot used to the grind of the schedule, especially, as the schedule starts to pick up. We started playing better teams as far as in the Big Ten. You just try to keep your confidence high. That's probably the main thing. And that's something I've been telling the younger guys, get in there and get extra shots. Look at the film like Nick said, so you can keep your confidence as high as you can so you can go out there and perform.
Is it almost as much a mental thing as it is a physical thing, just to stay engaged with the Big Ten? You said kind of grind every game, week in, week out.
Oh yeah, I definitely say so. Just because guys are so good at this level that as soon as you're disengaged, you get beat on something. So you have to make sure you always stay engaged.
Speaking of young guys, what are the things that stand out to you as a player as far as what OG's done, last couple of weeks and some of the plays he made at Michigan State, for example?
Yeah, what's impressed me is that he's just continuing to improve. Like he talked about a freshman wall, and it seems like as the years going on, he just continues to get better and better, and that's something we're going to need, especially this time of year. And he's just been really focused on doing the things it takes to get on the court and stay on the court, and just getting better day by day.
You go against him some in practice. I'm going to guess, how much stronger has he gotten since he got here in June? He just looks physically different.
Oh yeah, he's definitely probably one of the stronger guys on the team. Strong, fast, quick. He's just a really athletic player. Like that play he made at Michigan, is not a lot of guys in the country that can make that play. So yeah, he's just a really athletic guy.
Anything else for these guys? What is, I guess Tom Izzo said he felt like Colin Hartman's improved a lot in the last couple of years. He used the phrase he's a tough cover. Again, maybe asking about how you approach a guy like that defensively. Just how much has he improved in your mind in the last year or so?
I mean, tremendously. From the time that I've got in, it seemed like he was kind of just a shooter, and then he really kind of molded last year where he had to guard bigger guys, and his toughness just showed tremendously, with that and guarding the 5-man or the centers. And Tom Izzo probably was saying that he's a tough guard and tough cover because he's a mobile 4-man that can move, shoot the ball, play tough, and play strong inside as well, and makes, a lot of plays for his teammates.
What's it like for you guys to go into the final stretch with the Big Ten championship within reach?
I mean, this a lot different than last year because it was a little different feeling around here at that point. you know, it's in our grasp. We can take care of it. We just have to, you know, keep listening to the coaches and taking care of the process every day, and you know, and hopefully we achieve that when it's that time of the year.
Rob, what about for you? What do you feel it's like to be in that position?
It's definitely exciting because, you know, we still in a position right now where we can control a lot of our destiny, but we just have to, you know, take it day by day, play by play, and just leave it all out there and let the results come as they may.
Is there almost a sense of, I guess, do you guys feel like you have something to prove coming off a loss like Sunday?
I mean, I feel like as a group, we feel like that, you know, every game. So from that standpoint, you know, it's not going to be much different from one game to the next. You know, we're just going to look at the things we didn't do well and try to improve on them.
All right, thanks, guys.